I'm going to use this photograph for today's painting demo. But before I start, let's just quickly show you my colours. I've got ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber and light red, all of which all linked. All these materials are linked in the video description. The paints, the brushes, which is a large Ron Ranson Hake, and the paper, which is 15 by 11 Fabriano. You'll see the links to Amazon where you can buy these if you want. Can't remember if I've used this one before, but I quite like this composition, so I'm going to use this one again. So, using the large Ron Ranson Hake, I'm just going to go into a bit of raw sienna. I haven't got too much water on the brush. This is just raw sienna, straight down to the bottom of the page. Clean the brush. I'm just going to take a little bit of ultramarine. Can't see much of the sky in the photograph, just a little bit through the trees. That's all I'm going to do for that. Bit more up there. Come back to that later. So that's just what blue of the sky you can see through all the trees, which now I'm going to put in using the little rigger brush. So actually, first of all, what I need is I need a bit of water on the palette, just to mix this with. So I'm just going a bit of burnt umber. This takes ages, doesn't it? I'm used to getting on with it with a big brush. Burnt umber. Bit of ultramarine. Nice. These are the distant trees. Very little detail at this sort of. Whoops. So I'm not used to having all this water in the palette, so I'm not holding it flat and it's dripping over the edge. So I'm just flicking up with the rigger brush. Bit of burnt umber, ultramarine. And then there's some water down here, so I'll just flick down some reflections while I'm doing that, before I forget. A few more up the top. A few going sideways, don't do them all parallel, evenly spaced, because it looks so unnatural. A few down the bottom, reflected in what will be the, like just a little narrow stream that flows through the park. So let's do some on the other side. It's getting a bit more brown. I have to keep reloading the brush. A few more over here. There's no water down in this right hand foreground, so I haven't got to worry about reflections. You can see now the paper's dry because I could have done with wetting it a bit more than that. See, because I'm not getting sort of soft edges. Not to worry, that's not a problem. You can see the difference here where it's a sharp line, very defined sharp line, look. Whereas on this side it's all softened off, it's all merged, blurred all together in one. So that's a few more of those. Now it's drying as well on the left hand side, so as it dries it goes on stronger. Let's just put like another layer, because the more layers you put in, the more depth you'll create, and the more interesting your painting will look. Don't forget the reflections down the bottom. Right, so that's just going to start doing a few now. Few twigs and branches coming off all of these. Put enough trunks in there. Just like a mishmash of sideways twigs and branches just going all over the place, some going up, some going down, some coming off the top of the paper. And then what I'll do, once I've got these ones in, let's just put a bit of background, a bit of green in the background. So I'm just going to go lemon yellow, just a touch of raw sienna, lemon yellow. I'm just going to try and just define where the land lies really. So it's quite a high horizon. See, that sort of comes down there. Down there like that. And the stream sort of sweeps round like an S, like a snake. That's the far side. Just comes over like that. Just working out where the stream is. I'll paint over and try and put a few more different colours in a bit. Coming down there. I've been guilty in the past with these ones of making. This is just a narrow stream, which is just like some of the other paintings I've done from these photographs. But I've been guilty of turning them into great big huge rivers, just completely losing the scale. So I'm trying to keep this one as just a narrow stream, which is what it's meant to be. So that just comes down there. And then so it's something like that. Something like that. So that's the sort of main composition design in. So I've got something, I've got a guide now. So I don't bother with pencil sketches. Obviously I'd recommend if you're just starting out, you really want to, you'll find it a lot more helpful if you sketch it out first. I just go straight in with the paint. But when I was starting, I did do a bit of pencil sketching, just so I had a guide where to put the paint down. And I got the brush out. So what I want to do next is a few more trees. Just dip the corner of the brush in the water just to loosen the paint up and bring all the hairs together. Just to bring it down to a nice edge. And then just pop a few more trees like that. Again, don't put them all parallel, equally distanced, because it will look so artificial. You want them all nice and random, all going in all sorts of directions. And try not to paint over anything that you particularly like. If you've got some nice effects going on in the background, even if it was by accident. Just leave little gaps between the trees so you can see into the distance. That's a few on this. Put a few on this side. These. Getting closer and closer to us. Put one up there, so just putting straight across there. And what I'll do is switch to the rigger brush and just pop a few little twigs and branches coming off them. all I'm doing is just plenty of water, bit of burnt umber, bit of ultramarine. And these are just the limbs coming off these trunks. And what I'll do, once I've put all these little twigs in and whatnot, I'll put a bit of foliage in, a bit of green. There's a whole load of brambles and things going on in this corner down here. All sorts of twigs and branches and things growing out of the ground. And bits and pieces all over the place. So next, I'm gonna clean the brush, and I'm just gonna squeeze it all out like that. Squeeze it out. Just dry the rest on the tea towel. I do with the new tea. I've had this tea towel now. I can't even remember. It's going hard. I don't know how absorbent it is. I just want a bit of raw sienna, a bit of lemon yellow. And I'm sort of you see me turning the brush around like that, just trying to get random effects. So starting off with the lighter colours, on straw sienna, lemon yellow. Twisting the brush around as I go. Then a bit of ultramarine. So that darkens it up a little bit. Could be like sort of shadows in there, amongst the trees. And then you've got Payne's grey, just to really darken it up, lemon yellow, Payne's grey. So I think that's enough foliage. So looking at it, let's just clean the brush. Again, a bit of raw sienna, lemon yellow, just a touch of ultramarine. Down to there, somewhere like that. It's just a whole mass of stuff going on here. I don't want to block it in too much more. Bit of burnt umber in there. It's such a light red. Some muddy banks here. I'm just defining this river bank as it goes off round the corner. There's like a muddy shoreline, muddy little bank here. Difficult to resist, creating a few little stones and things on the edge. Got a big rock in there. They're not really there, but I just can't resist doing them. Right, I'll tell you what I have forgotten to do, the reflections on the big trees. So let's pop those in there. And the foliage, completely forgot about the reflections. So let's do those now. So I'm just going to follow some of these reflections off there. Just looking at these trees at the angles they go. And there's some from there, don't forget the other side. Stuff in the distance over there. And the bigger ones down there. Right, let's reflect some of the foliage in there. Like I say, this would have been a lot easier if I'd have done this when I already had the paint on the brush. You know what I mean? So rather than having to remix all the paint again. So again, scuff it up. Starting with the lighter colours. Bit of raw sienna. Bit of lemon yellow. Some of those reflections down there. Bit of ultramarine. And a bit of Payne's grey. Darker stuff. I also need some sort of reflections for all this stuff up there. What I do now, I need to define this water a bit better because it's all got a bit lost, isn't it? Especially over here where the sort of water meets the where the water meets the land, the banks, the river banks. So let's just sort of strengthen this up again. Rocks and things. Just can't resist them. And we got stuff there just overhanging into the water. A bit of red, see what that looks like. Red on this side as well, little bits of just grasses and things growing. Just very light little taps. Don't need too much because I don't want to try and keep it as light as I can, just for when I put the shadows in on the trees, just let the shadows stand out a bit better. Right, in fact I think I'll put the shadows in next. I just want to make sure this paper's flat against this board. Just a 9mm piece of plywood I picked up from B&Q, cut it to size, and it works just right as something to pin your paper to. Let's just give that a quick dry. Shadows. Now as usual it was a dull day, so I'm going to have to make the shadows up. So this looks like a nice source of light, this light area there. So if I pretend that the sun's about there, quite low in the sky, and then I'll just follow that line across the trees. So I've got a clean, not too much water. I'm just going to go red, burnt umber, light red, ultramarine. I want it fairly strong so that it shows up against this ground. A bit more brown, red, blue. I'll just keep mixing this blue until I get the sort of just the right shade I'm after. That's close enough, I think. So, fully loaded brush. I mean, I'm just going to say that the sun's about there, right there. So I'm just going to follow that line through and pop these reflections, not reflections, shadows. Just follow them down there like that. I'm just going to sort of darken those as well, so a bit more sort of silhouetted. Just to try and enhance the shadows a bit. So let's follow these as well. That comes down there like that, and across there. So onto this side, make sure I've got enough paint on the brush. And I'm just taking this from there, it's just coming up and over, following the sort of contours of the land. So don't do it in straight lines because the land will go up and down. Just sort of make it look a bit more random, like that. So I'm sort of shaking my hand as I'm doing it. And it comes there like that, and that follows through there like that. Yeah, let's just darken these a little bit, just to make them look a bit more shadowy. I think all that remains to do really is our little man walking his dog. So I'm just going to go fairly dark colour because I just want it sort of silhouetted against the strong light. So where should we put him? I'm just going to stick him there. I'm just putting his shoulders in, and then some of this paint's still wet, so I'm just watching where I'm putting my fingers. And then there's a little dog behind him. Obviously they'll have to have a shadow as well, so shadow is going to be something like that, a little dog shadow. You can always have a little bird, there's always room for a bird somewhere in the sky. I'm going to stick in there, you can't hardly see him, but we all know where he is. And then last but not least, I'm just going to stick my name. Stick my name down there. So let's see what this one looks like with the mount on. So here's the painting with the mount on. So let's have a quick look at the photograph again. So I haven't changed too much compositionally, although I'm probably guilty again of making the scene look a bit bigger than it actually is, because if we look at the figure here in the photograph, I put my figure about here, but you can see how much smaller I've put it, and it opens the scene up, it makes it look bigger than what it actually is. I think instinctively I like big massive wide open spaces and big grand landscapes, so I can't help it really. Although I think next time I'll try and make it the same size as it is in real life. But starting at the top, very little sky in the photograph, just see little bits in here poking through the tree. I have opened it up a little bit, we can see a lot more of the background sky in the painting, which I think it makes it look a bit better. It also gives a greater sense of light coming through the scene. So the first thing I did was try and represent all these background trees, just millions of them all over the place. So I just used the hake brush just to flick up. As you can see, these distant ones just flicking up all over. You can see where the paper dried before I got a chance to get it all in. See how it's got sort of sharp edges as opposed to the, I mean, you can hardly see them really down there, but there are sort of more blurred, more distant looking trees. And then ultimately coming forward to these ones close to the foreground, putting with the hake brush, big thick trunks, right down these ones right into the foreground here on the right hand side, using the side of the hake. You could use a rigger if you like, but it's so much easier with the hake brush. Just put it in sideways and bash it straight in. So then I just wanted to work out the lie of the land where this stream flowed through, so I just sort of blocked in the two banks. Just used a bit of raw sienna and light red, and lemon yellow, just to sort of this blank bank here and then this bank here, just to define the way the stream flows through. Then just trying to define here the bank's edges. There's sort of little pebbles and stones scattered all over the place, and so I just used the corner of the plastic card. First got it in nice and dark, nice muddy banks here, and then just scraped in these rocks and pebbles using the card. A few more scattered about here and there on the other side, flowing right off into the distance. And then finally the shadows. So I've took this area there as my light source, and then just imagine the sun's there, so the shadows just sort of follow these lines, sort of radiating out from there. And again, a few more down this side. I sort of darken the trunks as well, just to try and emphasise the effect of the shadows. But remember, they don't just go in straight lines, they sort of follow the contours of the land, so I'm sort of shaking my hand as I'm doing it. So they'll just sort of go up and down over the grass and the muddy banks. Well, that's it for today's painting. I hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to be notified of all the videos I've got coming out. You'll see links to my eBay shop. This, as well as every other painting I do, you'll find on eBay. So thanks for watching. Keep practicing. Any questions, please ask, and I'll see you again soon.